Alright, so the stream is set up. This is purely a mic test. So I'm going to keep rambling a little bit while Ryan's gone, just so I can pull this up and see how it sounds. If I can ever get my YouTube to load, which it's not. Here we go. Alright, so just checking. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2.
But they didn't know they switched, did they?
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
I thought you were a keeper. I was? I mean, I am, yeah. I was just looking for her, actually. Great to see you, Dad. Well, that's great to see you, please. Oh, thanks. Oh, go on, get up there, come on. Let's get together, yeah. Let's get together.
And unmuted. Alright, perfect. Sounds good.
Ooh, there it is. Oh, yeah, I just saw him. Well, hello. Where was he? He went that way. What are you staring at? Oh, nothing. You're just really very pretty. So, don't tell me you're gonna break your run. You see your father tell him he's late, and whatever you say, Gorilla. There you go. This will cure anything you got. Just don't ask what's in it. Here's to you. May your life be far less complicated than mine. Martini, dry. I think I just drank. Here's your martini and your bill, Miss James. Thank you. You're Elizabeth James. I passed your office just yesterday and said you promised not to touch another. I can't believe it. It's fate. I'm Meredith Blake. As you do. Sorry. Where have you been? We've been looking all over for you. Nicholas, I'm so jealous. I see it the more I like it. Me too. Absolutely. That's how you did. How many are we expecting? Time for the happy. Just a guesstimate. Can I get back to you on that? I'm not sure. Sorry.
I'm glad you did.
It seemed stunned to see me. I mean, I haven't seen or heard from you in 11 years. All of a sudden, on the very day. Dad, I can explain why she's here. Oh, wait.
this is.
Actually, yes. Actually, I'm not Hattie. Actually, it's him.
Alex?
I guess you and Mom kind of think alike because you both sent us to the same camp and we met there and the whole thing just sort of sweetened out. They switch your places on the same. And Mom, why are you angry? Of course not. I just think it was you.
Last time I saw you, you had a diaper rash. You're all
Quite grown up now.
But yeah. Oh, move your tail. Or something. Hello.
What's up?
Nothing. So Sarah's got this movie on TV, and it's definitely a Disney movie. Because the plot doesn't make any damn sense at all.
But you have to watch it from the beginning, you fool.
Oh, now she's telling me I have to watch it from the beginning.
No.
Yeah.
Excuse me, do you know the first aid? Yeah. Like,
That was the quickest first aid kit run I've ever seen in my life.
my dad's so. Oh, good, you've met. Honey, this is my wedding gown, and she's going to be. Hey, I don't understand. How did you two meet, and why are you all wet?
We're making my fiance's wedding.
I didn't know she was your fiance.
I mean, you two meet.
Am I missing something?
What? This is one small world.
How small? Hi there. How you doing?
Did I ever mention you that I was a twin?
No, I'm afraid you forgot that little detail. Don't feel bad, Mary. He never mentioned it to me either. By the way, I'm the real Abby. This is Annie. She was pretending to be me while I was pretending to be her. And this, our mother. Mother? Yes. You were married to him? Oh, well, this is a small world.
And getting smaller.
And what a coincidence that all here on the exact same weekend. My. Sweet.
Are you busy?
Hey, why, what's up?
There's a little friend over here that needs to be dead.
There's a what?
A little friend over here that needs to be dead.
Hold on, AJ.
Okay.
Sarah scares spiders. Where's it at?
Ah, he's jumping!
Not the spider.
Ah, he's underneath the sill.
Where? I don't see him.
He's right there! Yes.
He wasn't there.
No! Get away from me!
Here we go. We have Sarah and Ryan chasing around a spider in the apartment,
away!
trying to kill the spider. It is not working right now.
Yeah.
Currently trying to find the spider wherever it may be. It's the perfect time for the Ben Hill music to be playing.
He's down the garbage disposal.
No. I wish I could see it so I could broadcast it. We really announce it. Oh, man.
Hey, move, kitty. Oh, man, what's wrong with this?
Well, I try to do like a broadcast of what I heard in the background.
There we go. Alrighty then. Oh man, we need a new couch.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to
Look,
find.
hear you.
You're a little blurry on my end, but that's alright.
That's because you're on my webcam, or my computer's camera, not my webcam.
Yeah, it turned out
Who do I want my fucking Trupic to be? Who did well there last season?
Where are they running at trucks this week in Pocono?
Pocono, yeah.
Hey, get mine.
Christopher Bell won this last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah. There it is right there. See if anybody's in the chat. No one's in the chat just yet.
Just me.
And me. Alright, dude, NASCAR schedule. Pull that up on that cellular device. So, Truck Series is at Pocono. The Dirt Derby. I know who I'm picking. For the trucks. Isn't the is it the Xfinity at Iowa? Iowa, yeah. Trucks are Sunday or Saturday at 1 o'clock, I think. And then the Xfinity series goes at 5 o'clock on NBCSN. I thought it was a night race. Yeah, so I got on here.
I just got to make sure when I see Tony Batts come up, it's Tony. Every time I see it, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah, Tony Batts. Yeah, what the fuck?
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. 7:20 start. Let's go.
Oh, I messed up. All right, here we go.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 35 of the Lugs podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me, as always, is my co-host, Ryan.
What's happening, AJ? What's happening, everybody out in the YouTube world this afternoon? Hope everybody had a great weekend. And if you guys see me moving around a lot this evening, it's because I'm on a couch right now, and as I sat down on it, I think the spring busted. So I got a spring.
Spring in the ass. Nice job.
Yes, yep, the spring in the arch, so to speak. But, man, AJ, how was your weekend, man? My weekend was awesome. I'll get into that a little bit later.
You know, I've got to say, the weekend started off great. And I say started off. I would say it started Wednesday with Eldora. That race put me in such a good mood for the rest of the week.
Yes, it did.
And then we had, the Xfinity race was awesome. The Cup race was awesome. So overall, it was a great weekend. Saturday night, played a little Cards Against Humanity with a couple of the friends.
I seen the pictures of that on our crew chat right there.
Yeah,
always a fun and entertaining game to invite the fellas and the ladies over for, which is always in my book.
I sent the picture to the our group chat because I needed to have a special thanks to our buddy Josh, who sent me all the packs for that game. Like 7 card packs, and we went through all of them.
Wow. Yeah, we got the, I think Sarah's got the, all the card extra packs and, what is it, the bigger, what was it, the Cards Against Humanity. But yeah, we play that all the time, and then we got another game called Bad People, which is like Cards Against Humanity, but this game you find out more about the individual persons or people. So if you know the people really well, it's really fun.
Yeah, I tell you what though, dude, Cards Against Humanity, it can get bad in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it can get really bad really quick.
I remember one time we were playing it, and our friend Jeff, his wife put something down. It was a 2-part question. It was like next on ESPN something, and it was, I don't remember exactly word for word of what it was, but oh man, was it. We were all crying, laughing for a good 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's you get some funny responses out of it, and
that you do.
It's insane, and and just for the record, if I sound different today on a different mic, as those on YouTube can see, and those of you listening on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher can hear. So hopefully it's a little bit better, not too loud. I've been toying with it a little bit. I think I've got the volume just right. You shouldn't hear it fumbling around anymore because it's got like such a heavy bass on it, so it doesn't.
That's what it is.
And it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love this thing.
Yeah, it is. I still got my same old little microphone, which I absolutely love. So
I mean, man, your weekend, how was it?
My weekend was really nice. Saturday we went to Bed Bath & Beyond. We got a gift card for one of our wedding presents, and then went out there and I got me a magic bullet, which you always see the infomercials on that. We're going to be making some salsa on there and some smoothies and all that.
Thank
down
you
the road.
For explaining what that is.
Hey, no problem. I got you. You thought the magic bullet. I know what AJ was thinking about the magic bullet was. He thought it was yeah. I know. I got
you went a little south with that one. I wasn't gonna say nothing, and I didn't know Bed Bath & Beyond sold that.
Well,
that's in the Beyond section.
That is the Beyond section. Came home, caught the tail end of the Xfinity race. Went to go hang out with Jeff and his wife, Amy, for a little while, get some ice cream. Sunday, got an invite over to our buddy Drew's house to go watch the Impact, a.k.a. TNA Wrestling pay-per-view. Watch that. If for anybody that's a wrestling fan, what a pay-per-view it was. It was 10 times better than Extreme Rules. 3, maybe 4 guys stood out. Pentagon Jr., Sami Callihan, and a guy named Phoenix. If you guys watch Lucha Underground, amazing competitors, amazing matches all night.
Yeah, I gotta tell you what, I tuned out of Impact years ago. It's been now, because it just eventually WWE became the same thing as Impact, and there was no point of watching it anymore.
Exactly. Like I said, we got the channel that it's on. I recorded, I watched the matches, everything like that. It's good wrestling, man. I mean, yeah, they got their budget issues. I don't know how that's going, but I know they got new writers backstage. I know Scott D'Amore, who was part of the team,
still running it.
No, Billy Corgan's doing something different now. I think he's part of NWA. Hold on one second as I get a drink here. I think he's part of NWA because I know he was part of it for a little while. Everybody's like, the Smashing Pumpkins should be in the Hall of Fame, this thing, that thing. And he wanted a new contract. They didn't give him a contract, so they went back to where TNA started from, with Scott D'Amore as one of the head writers. And then the guy formerly known as Cyrus in ECW is another writer as well. And it's good wrestling. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a really hardcore big wrestling fan, and I mean, I still watch all the pay-per-views, but I mean, I'll pay attention when we get down into like the SummerSlam time, like right now. I'll pay attention to Rumble come WrestleMania, but other than that, I can kind of and pick it up after a couple months, and nothing has changed. It's still the same people doing the same thing. So, that's just how wrestling's become to me, and that's what tuned me out the first time. I stopped watching for a couple of years just because it can't be the same boring stuff.
Is everybody ready for Brock Roman 4?
Going.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing in my mind right now that's going to save the SummerSlam card is hopefully in about a half hour or so when SmackDown Live is on, Paige announces AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. That is the only thing right now that can possibly save SummerSlam in my book.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the Lugs podcast here has kind of turned into a wrestling talk hour. But
what's a good barbed wire baseball bat podcast? Here we go.
It's just the thing with how everything goes with wrestling is like you got Brock Lesnar, who's a champion, who's been champion for what, over a year now, 300 and something days? Or
Yeah,
400 and something days?
he broke CM Punk's record.
And he doesn't even show up, but for half the pay-per-views, if that, 4 or 5 pay-per-views, and
if that, and an occasional Raw here
and there. It's like,
yep.
really? There's nothing you can't. It's not a guy you can get behind, I would say.
No, not at all. And that's the thing that just grinds my gears about that, though. And yeah, CM Punk's trying the MMA thing now, not very good, but due to the fact that they're claiming Lesnar to be the longest rated running champion in history is a little ridiculous there. So,
yeah, I mean, I agree with you there, man. It's long and drawn out at this point.
And the whole Roman Reigns thing is ridiculous junk. It's just basically Roman Reigns is John Cena as John Cena was Hulk Hogan.
Well, I mean,
or Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Fortunately, football's right around the corner.
Thank you. I'm ready for football.
And I'm honestly more excited for college than I am the NFL. And
I'm excited for.
I was just going to say a little podcast plug here, the Polar Opposites Pigskin podcast. That'll be starting here. Hopefully this weekend. I mean, we got to do it before training camp starts, get a first episode in on that. And Tony and I are looking forward to that. We have some good stuff coming on that end.
A lot of teams are showing up to training camp. I know Julio Jones is holding out right now. Ty Gurley just got a deal, so yeah, we're going to be a good NFL season. Who's that?
Tom Brady.
Of course he is.
Supposed to report like 4 days early, so it was either today or tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
He's supposed to show up there. So I mean, it's an exciting time, but I'm just more excited for college, I think, and I think it was because of the run the Bulldogs had last season that's really put me into that mood for college starting.
Oh, of course.
But Ryan, we've gone on and rambled here for the first 10 minutes about stuff other than racing. What do you say we get down into it, some gas and go? Let's recap Eldora and New Hampshire.
Let's do it.
If you're just tuning into the show, or if you haven't listened before, it's your first time hearing us, Gas and Go is a segment on our show that we kick off with every week where we recap what happened in the race weekend in Xfinity, Cup, Truck, etc. Sometimes the occasional IndyCar or F1 race in there. This week we had the Camping World Truck Series Dirt Derby at Eldora, and what a race this was. Every year it's the best truck race. Doesn't fail to disappoint this year with Chase Briscoe getting the edge on Grant and Finger at the start-finish line. Wow, what a way to win that race.
Oh, man. Even the qualifying was fun to watch. The prelims were fun to watch. It just, overall, what a great experience Eldora has been.
You know, the cool thing you mentioned with qualifying is if you spin out coming out of one of the corners or going into one of the corners, you can actually go backwards around the track and restart your lap. I think it's just so cool to do. You only see the dirt tracks.
Well, the cool thing is, too, about if say you do spin out, look at Johnny Sauter. He had a terrible qualifying lap. He was like 30-something and as it started out, and then ended up going into the qualifying race, and I think he had to race his way in, and he made it in because of the points and all that, but still.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing with Sauter is, with all the cars that were wrecking there at the end of the race, Sauter came back to finish 16th, and he had like a 20th place truck all day.
Yeah, I'm sure he was happy to get out of the dirt, so to say, and he's ready to get on some pavement this weekend at Pocono.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And like I said earlier, what a battle between Briscoe and Enfinger. You saw it coming there. End. You had Logan Sevi there also battling for the win there. And
the 51 truck.
It was just a great race all night.
Yeah, the final restart there, CV took off, to start the final stage. And I'm like, man, he's checking out, man. He may, pull this off, a young kid, driving for KBM. I thought he was going to do it, and then he had something go wrong with the truck, or he fell back a little bit. man, that finish, like I wanted to wake Sarah up. I'm like, Sarah, you got to see this finish. But I ended up tagging her the next day at work when I found it finally on the Facebook app. Here, check this out.
You know,
man,
you mentioned restarts, man. Those every restart, whether it be for a stage start or end of the race or even middle of the race, every restart was awesome.
Yes, they were. And what I like best about Eldora is the pit stops and how they do the pit stops now. They have the guys come down, inside your pit and here, outside your pit and there. Have the pit guns get out there, get to work, do your work, and make your changes and adjustments that you need, and go on. It's only a 75-mile race, if I remember correctly what it said. Like 150 laps to 75 miles. I'm like, holy cow, it's crazy.
And it's just awesome. You mentioned Sauter comment earlier. Patrick in our chat here on YouTube just said dirt is Sauter's only weakness, it seems, and that's a spot on statement right there.
Very spot on, Patrick. Good point.
And Sauter's the definition of an asphalt guy being out of his element when it comes to dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know if he has any sort of dirt racing experience in his
I don't think so. I think he may be working on that during the off season this weekend. So
Crafton here.
Crafton, yeah, he impressed me a lot. Finishing fourth. I know you're going to go over to the top 5, but man, that team has been not anywhere this year, and all of a sudden here they come back on dirt. Crafton in finger, get their get the groove going now, and bam.
Little side note here: Kyle Larson, the booth, I thought put this race over the top. I thought this race was awesome.
I did too. I like Christopher Bell. He messed up a couple times though because he called Crafton in a Toyota, which is now Ford. Now he's like, oh no, Ford now. So, but no, I thought Bell did a good job. Kenny Wallace, I don't care.
Kenny Gate in.
Yep. I don't know if there's anybody out there that does not like Kenny Wallace, man. If there is somebody out there that doesn't like Kenny Wallace calling a dirt track race, oh, come on, man.
Christopher Bell did a great job, too.
Oh, Bell, yeah. They all, even, Hermie Sadler, the veteran, doing his thing. I like that, though. Bell's like, hey, I got a new respect for you guys now.
Yeah. It's
from running all up down pit road.
Yeah. Well, Rick Allen got his fair share running up down pit road this weekend.
Yeah. He got his rookie stretch too from Kurt Busch too, which was kind of funny. We'll dive into that too because that rain delay actually went pretty smoothly.
Yeah, it did. But just continuing here with the Eldora race.
Yeah, Eldora.
So much good things to talk about here. Really, a downside of the night was Ben Rhodes. He dominated this race early. I believe he won the first stage, and I got the stage written down here. But then he had a loose wheel or something happen to that truck that he had to come down to pit for.
Yep.
Starting the second stage, and after that, once you start losing laps at a track like that, your night's over.
Yeah, and then the wreck that took out, Ryan Newman, I think, what was it, Crafton that was in it? I forgot the other truck that was in it. But minding his own business, and then bam, then that ended his race. He was done driving for Jordan Anderson.
The camera on Newman's truck right hit the bumper.
Oh, that was good. That was great.
When he hit the side of Crafton's bumper, it all
bam.
The yellow bumper getting closer, and then nothing, black.
I think we had. I think I said, man, that was a race I was definitely looking forward to. Obviously, you got the 500. Everybody looks forward to the Bristols, the races you go to, everything along that. But the one on TV, it's right here Wednesday night. It was Eldora. What a fantastic show NASCAR put on. Tony Stewart, hats off to him and his crew out down in Eldora for putting on a great show for everybody.
It was an awesome race, and I can't say it enough. I know I'm saying it a lot, but we talked about good stories, and Logan Savvy driving that 51 truck for KBM, and his first Truck Series start leads 53 laps, and man, did he look good on the dirt.
Yes, he does. I think it was Kenny Wallace said what he does, like he's a modified guy, so he grew up on dirt. He knows the dirt, so I guess they're trying to give him some asphalt experience here in a couple weeks. See what he does on the asphalt.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, he impressed me a ton with the way he raced on Wednesday night. And, you know, thinking about this being his first race and all, I'd love to see what he does on asphalt, because if you're up there competing with some of these guys who were usually competing on Friday nights, Saturday afternoons.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you're on dirt, which is one of his kind of expertise kind of places, like a dirt ringer, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can hold his own, why not give him a shot?
I mean, look at what Stuart Friesen's done. He was a dirt guy. Now he's up on the trucks. He's right there for the points battle. So
correct, yeah. You know, speaking of Stuart Friesen, he pit early. And that before the stage, was it before the stage ended, he came down to pit during one of those cautions?
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back out, didn't gain any room or gain any ground, and all of a sudden in the second stage, like 5 laps in, that truck took off. He was back up in the top 5 within laps. So Stuart Friesen on dirt, he was running that middle line, that middle group.
Yeah,
Not too low, not too high. It was just he had that line down pat, and it just at the end with the restarts couldn't really get up there.
Not at all. And then the funny thing too is, like, the best about outdoor, you have the 3 distinct lines, people running up right up against that wall, down bottom, you know, by the wall escape. And then, like you said, Stuart Friesen right in the middle there. 3 distinct lines around that track, which makes for some good racing.
That it does. A guy that had a weird night, to say the least, I thought, was John Hunter Nemechek.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he hit everything but the base car and maybe some fans in the stands on Wednesday.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think it was him, whoever won the 3 track, who didn't make the show, unfortunately. But those 2 were beating and beating, and I think that's when Austin Self, the 2 track, who was in the 2 track? Let me check here, because I know that he made the show. Give me a second here.
No, you're fine.
I'm trying to find out who's in the 2 truck.
When Nemechek,
yeah, I think it was Austin Self. No, Austin Hill, excuse me. Yep, I found it.
When Nemechek, they were showing all the trucks on pit road, or the infield, I should just say, before the race. You see, like, clean truck, and a truck that looks like it just went through 500 miles at Bristol.
Yeah, or Martinsville.
It was the ugliest truck out there with all the damage on it. And he almost won it.
They had a great truck.
Not only were the collisions a problem for him, but he was in 3rd gear all race because he didn't have 4th. Yeah,
like you said, the Hunter Nemechek truck, I mean, but they said it during the broadcast too, like the aerodynamics don't mean much at Eldora. For case in point, remember Christopher Bell's truck last year? All tore up to pieces, and he almost won the damn thing.
Yeah, he was still competing with it. It was just solid race. I give this an A+.
Okay.
Your stage winners: first stage Ben Rhodes, second stage, and as I lose my place, was Chase Briscoe, and then your eventual race winner was Chase Briscoe, like we've already said. Your top 5: Chase Briscoe, Grant Enfinger, with what a battle at the line that was.
Oh, yes, it was.
Stuart Friesen, Matt Crafton, and Brett Moffitt. Crafton, he's turned into a little dirt racer.
I guess he's got his own dirt car now that he races.
And it's funny because he was purely an asphalt driver, and he was. He trained for Eldora with a couple dirt car runs, and now, like you said, he's running dirt cars on weekends when they're off and stuff. It's amazing. Like, he's really found a love for it.
Yes, he has, and that's like when Sarah and I, we go to the dirt track. We love going to the dirt track, man. If they're, like I said, AJ, man, if there's anyone near you, man, go check it out, man. Saturday night racing, man, it's worth the price of admission.
Oh, for sure. So
and then, go ahead.
Your notable finishers in this race: 7th place, John Hunter Nemechek, like we were just talking about. Johnny Sauter, we said, finished 16th. And 22nd, tough day for Todd Gilliland, who was actually running towards the front at the beginning of the race. and just got collected in a couple of different incidents. It's not that he got involved, but he was in a position where he either had to check up or something like that to get around it.
Yeah. There's you're doing your notable finishers. One I saw. How about Sheldon Creed, ARCA driver, finishing 15th?
I mean, Ryan, look at it this way. All right, you have guys like Logan Sevy finishing 8th, Nick Hoffman finishing 10th, Max McLaughlin finishing 12th, Tyler Dipple 13th, Chris Wyndham 14th, Sheldon Creed 15th, like you said, Jeffrey Abbey in 17th, Tanner Thorson 19th, Austin Hill was there, Todd Gillen, Wendell Chavis 23rd, J.R. Hefner 24th, Justin Shipley 26th. Like, these are all names of guys that you don't normally hear about.
Exactly.
And they come out for this Eldora Dirt Derby, and they put on a show. They finish better than the regular asphalt guys finish. It's cool. It's the Xfinity Series is where they say names are made here, but names start in the Truck Series.
Yep, names start in the Truck Series. And at the Eldora, I can't talk right. Eldora, so the Dirt Derby.
Yep. Your standings, Ryan, following this race, Johnny Sauter still maintains the points lead, followed by Brett Moffitt, Noah Gregson, Ben Rhodes, Justin Haley, Grant Enfinger, Stuart Friesen, and Matt Crafton. I see nothing changing there.
I don't. No, not at all.
I think all are pretty much above the cut line by a pretty big of a boatload. And your next race is Pocono, Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern on FS1.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun little race to watch. Pocono, 3 turns, tricky triangle.
What turn?
It'll be a fun one. Yeah. What's turn 4? But here's a question I have for you, AJ. With the success of the trucks at Eldora, do you see the trucks doing another dirt track somewhere?
You know, I had this in news, but I kind of wanted to mention it in this segment instead of making it wait for news. Tony Stewart had put out a tweet that said, if you want to see different series race out here, get on NASCAR repeatedly. They listen to the fans, and Stewart understands that. So Junior responds to it as, would love to see the Xfinity Series race out here. I mean, this is an Xfinity Series owner asking you to put the Xfinity Series at Eldora. And not only that, it's the most popular driver of the last, 17 years?
About that.
So,
speaking of which.
Yeah, good. So, you think that the Xfinity Series would be next. I don't know if Cup ever makes it out there just because I don't see Eldora being a place that they ever go to. I'd love to see it, but the way the cars are designed, I just don't see it happening.
No, here's the thing. I say yes to Xfinity. I say no to the Cup, but do an all-stars there. Have what would be your normal or your Cup guys, instead of racing Cup cars, put them in modifieds. And why not?
I wish they'd bring back the Prelude to the Dream.
Yeah, the Prelude to the Dream. My brother and I, we ordered that 1 year pay-per-view, and that was the funniest thing ever because they put Stewart had a treat for DW because they took him in a tractor around the track once, but then they finally put him in the car, and you hear DW, and all of a sudden at the last turn, oh shit. Yeah. And my brother and I are crying and laughing to hear DW in the car like that.
It was just so fun to watch. Like some of these guys were out of their element.
Yeah, why not make the All-Star race a couple years from now, away from Charlotte, Eldora? Any driver who's any driver, if they want to show up that weekend, show up that weekend. Invite some of these dirt guys out there. Invite some of the other series out there. There you go. Put it on Fox.
There's an off-season idea, Ryan.
Dirt
versus Cup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Take dirt drivers. If you want to throw Kyle Larson in there as a dirt driver.
Or a Cup driver, you can do that.
Exactly, but just do something like that. They used to do those races over in Japan.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
I'd like to see it on. I'd like to see it on dirt.
Yeah, why not have just an exhibition race on dirt just to see how it goes?
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, like I said, I see the Xfinity Series going there.
Talking about Xfinity Series, let's move on to the Xfinity Series. They were at New Hampshire this weekend, where Christopher Bell hangs on against a on-charging Brad Keselowski for back-to-back wins in the Xfinity Series. What a finish that was.
That was a good finish. And with New Hampshire, too, the top line was the way to go, but it was Ryan Preece in the Xfinity race found that the bottom lane was working, and that you see that later in the Cup race where that started to come in. But did they ever say what happened to, I think it was Austin Cindric or who was in the 60 when they wrecked at the end? I didn't see no replay after that.
I didn't see a replay of it either. That was very awkward at the end. But as we get a new guest on the show, your cat is behind you now.
Oh, yes. Well, this is rear end us.
I lost my train of thought now, where I was going with that. But,
the wreck at the end of the race.
And not talking about the wreck, but you're talking about the lines that they ran. And it seemed like when you entered a corner, you started on the high side, about 3/4 to halfway into the corner, you start moving your way down to the bottom.
Yep.
And that seemed to be the only way to get any decent runs.
Yeah, and it was, like I said, I got home and caught the final laps of the Xfinity race. I missed the first 2 stages, though, so it's the only thing, and we did a little running around, so but I missed the first 2 stages.
I missed. I didn't miss. I was actually cutting the grass when the second stage started.
All right.
So I was listening to it, and I was actually listening to it when Jeremy Clements hit the barrels on pit road.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And
good thing they put water in those things.
Yeah, right. I mean, my immediate thought was, well, you're supposed to pit there. You're not supposed to hit the barrels there. But then I saw the replay of it. Looks like he locked up his brakes there and just rolled right on into him.
Yeah, and that was a hard hit too, though. I mean, you got the car moving, but you got those tire or the barrels with sand. Reminds, as my dog just let one fly as he's jumping up onto the couch. Thanks, Thor, during the podcast, buddy. Oh man, but no, what it was at Watkins Glen. I think it was when Ambrose he hit the Terra Bears. How long of a cleanup that was. Hats off to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for getting that cleaned up in time, to get the green flag back out.
Yeah, and not to get too far off kilter from the race that was up front, Brad Keselowski was coming there at the end with he got right up to the bumper of Bell, gets a little loose entering turn 3, I think it was. And that was all she wrote at that point. Christopher Bell rode off into the sunset with that win.
Oh, yeah. Back-to-back, too.
But how about the little upset factor we had with Ryan Preece coming in, making it a 3-car battle, running what Dale Jr. has now named it the Ryan Preece line, which was a groove below the bottom groove. I mean, half the car was below the yellow line going into the turns, and it was sticking. And he was the fastest car on the track.
He runs the Whelen Modified series out there, and that would be I wish NBC would have showed those races live. Same with the K&N races too, because they had all 3 series out there. They had 4 series of racing out there this weekend, and I know they're going to re-show them later on down the road on NBCSN, but show those live.
Yeah.
That's why he knows how to run. Get around New Hampshire running the bottom line.
It was definitely a different line that I hadn't seen many people run before.
Exactly.
And the fact that he made it work is something that some drivers I thought would have paid attention to, but you didn't see too much of it on the Cup side of things the next day.
Until the end of stage, the beginning of stage 3, end of stage 2, when that PJ1 or that sticky stuff started wearing out.
I hate that.
Yeah, started wearing out.
I hate that stuff.
Yep.
So, Brad Keselowski, Christopher Bell, they combined to lead 165 of 200 laps, and the feat that Keselowski faced early on in the race was he couldn't hear his spotter.
That's never any good.
Then they were talking on the broadcast. I forgot who asked that said, "Isn't that penalty if you can hear your spotter?" And Dale Jr. responds with, "No, I don't think so. That's not something I've ever seen someone black flag for. But you've seen some occasions where crew chiefs will ask for their car to be black flagged when they need a pit, and that's something important for a driver to know when you can't hear your spotter. Not only can you not hear your spotter tell you where the cars are, but you now have to air drive, and you don't know when you're going to be pitting."
Exactly. You don't have the gas gauge when your tire or your fuel's going to run out.
No, so it was difficult for Keselowski to battle through that, which he had his own problems the next day too. But hats off, man! If you can sit up there and run with some of these guys who have shown they can beat Cup guys week in week out in the Xfinity Series.
Exactly.
Keselowski impressed me there, even though it was an Xfinity race that he was in.
Yeah, well, as I'm dealing with a gassy dog right now, I lost my train of thought too. Thanks, Thor. All right, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say something because I had a good point, and there he goes again. But no,
Mike.
No. He when he jumps up on the couch, he gets the push, and I think when he pushes, he lets him out. So.
Wow, this podcast episode's going to hell in a handbasket real quick.
Man, not really though. Just Thor being Thor. So, but no, like you said, like I said, with the sticky stuff, it started wearing out on Sunday, but it didn't rain on Saturday, not at all. So,
the New Hampshire is a track where I understand why they use it, but I just rather see them not use it. I think it makes for better racing. But at any rate, I have a problem with how, and I don't normally have a problem with how Rick Allen announces something. But at the end of this race, as they're coming to the checkered flag, he said, "David beats Goliath." And I had to think about that for a second. So Christopher Bell drives for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Okay.
Which is one of the most dominant teams this year in both Xfinity and Cup Series. And Penske as Goliath, a team that has one win this season in the Cup Series, and its only Xfinity Series wins have come with Cup drivers racing for them.
Exactly.
So is it really a David beat Goliath in that
scenario? I don't think so.
I mean, you got one guy who's in the best equipment and another guy who is hands down probably the best driver in the field that day.
Oh, yeah.
So...
yeah, it was only him. Keselowski, I think, when Austin Dillon were the only Cup regulars in that race.
I mean, you can be, Ryan, the best driver in the world.
Oh, yeah. And if you're not
in good the equipment, you can't win.
No, not at all.
And I'm not saying Penske's got bad equipment. Please don't get that twisted.
No, hell no.
But Gibbs, especially in the Xfinity Series and Cup Series, that their competition is Furniture Row and Stewart Haas Racing this year. But Gibbs is right up there with Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. And Penske's kind of like that third team. They win a lot of races, but it's 9 times out of 10 with Cup guys is what I'm getting at, basically.
Exactly.
How about, speaking of JRM, Justin Allgaier had a pretty rough day. And
yes,
somehow
he did.
Rebounds to finish 7th. He was collecting a couple different wrecks, and
that
car was beaten, and he still finishes 7th. That was impressive.
Oh, yeah. And then Custer got another top 10.
Custer got another top 10. This is
nice.
The best Xfinity races of the season.
I think Iowa and Dover were still up there.
I'm just saying one of the best. I'm not saying the best.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, one of the better ones.
The racing in general was great. Like
all weekend.
I don't know if it was the VHT or the PJ1 or whatever you want to call it.
The sticky shit.
But the racing was really, really good this weekend at New Hampshire.
I enjoyed it. He didn't have that guy that was getting lean. He was pulling away by 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds, nothing like that.
Exactly, and I just that's such a more entertaining race. And I think it's more entertaining than an Xfinity guy beat a Cup guy. Like that's
exactly.
That's perfect. That's what we want to see.
David beat Goliath.
Yeah, David beat Goliath. Like you want. I still don't understand the phrase, but that he's using.
Yeah.
As much as I love hearing Rick Allen broadcast a race, when he said it, I kind of sat back and like, really?
Hey, what are you talking about there, Rick?
I didn't see it.
No. Who won the stages, by the way? I missed that. First two.
Your stage winners, and this was just going on with the Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski domination.
Oh, all right.
First stage, Christopher Bell. Second stage, Brad Keselowski. And then Christopher Bell, as we said, goes on.
Won the race.
And your top 5, Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece, John Hunter Nemechek, and Matt Tift. One Cup guy in the top 5.
Yep.
That another thing that's great about this race this weekend.
Well, you know who the other Cup guy is, so we're not going to mention much about him. So,
come on, Ryan.
Yeah, what?
So, your notable finishers of this race: 9th place Cole Custer, 13th place Ryan Truex, and another tough stretch of runs for 25th place driver Tyler Reddick, who at one point was leading the points standings.
Yeah.
And has just fallen off. Like, he's not falling off like a rock. He's falling like a boulder.
He'll be all right. I think once the time comes playoff times, I think he's got some tracks coming up where he's going to run good. I think this weekend at Pocono, he's going to run good. So.
Yeah, they're at Iowa this weekend, but.
Yeah, Iowa. Yeah. When I say Pocono, I meant to say Iowa. I meant to say Iowa, so.
Hey, nothing wrong, man. Nothing wrong. Next race, I haven't said the next race or the standings yet, but.
No, not yet.
So your standings: Christopher Bell, Justin Allgaier, Tyler Reddick, who's still 3rd, but like I said, he's put together a couple bad runs. And coming into the playoff season that we're approaching, it's a bad time to start having inconsistency.
Yeah, you need to get the momentum going, the mojo.
Exactly. Continuing on, Daniel Hemrick, Elliott Sadler, Cole Custer, Brandon Jones, Ryan Truex, Matt Tift, Austin Cindric, Ryan Reed, and Ross Chastain round out your playoff positioning. Your next race is Iowa Speedway this Saturday, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. So as soon as the truck race ends, flip it on over to NBCSN. You catch the start of the Xfinity race.
It's going to be a good Saturday full of racing on FS1 and NBCSN.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Pocono's always a fun track. Iowa's a fun track. You're in for some good racing this weekend.
Yes, you are.
Moving off track here a little bit, you watching the Open this weekend?
I caught a little bit of it for Saturday. And then Sunday, I caught the Tiger making the run.
I don't want to spend too much time on golf, but I thought about it going to Sunday. Tiger capitalized on another Jordan Spieth blunder, and I don't know what it is with Spieth, man. Ever since the Masters a couple years ago, when he was up by 8 strokes and lost it.
Yep.
He's not been the same. When he has the lead on a Sunday, he just chokes it away. He gets in his own head, and golf is a game where you don't have to be the best physically wise at the game. You got to be the best mentally. And he's had a real tough mental stretch these last couple of years.
And I thought, Tiger, I thought he played excellent on Saturday, and Bill Plaschke, who does the on Around the Horn, picked Tiger to win it because he doesn't have to have the driver out on this course, and you've seen it with when some of these guys were hitting, a long iron and it was going almost 290 some yards. I'm like, you didn't need the driver, so that's why Tiger was in contention. Thought he was going to pull it off at the end, but just fell short.
Pulled another Tiger choke job. Another guy who really hasn't had the mentality since he's came back to golf.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between that and the rain delay.
Yeah, I mean, and even they were saying it on the broadcast is some of the drivers have their phones out or computers out watching the race or watching the tournament. So,
and speaking of the rain delay, they're going. They did a piece on Jimmy Johnson. I still think the guy has 2 more years left in him. And after watching that interview on Sunday or the piece on it, I can't think of the word right now.
So just moving on.
Basically saying, that he's going to run. Watching this piece, he's confident. He hasn't lost the edge to compete yet, so he's still there. So they go to Parker Kligerman, who's interviewing Jimmy, and they're talking about everything and all that. And so afterwards on Twitter, I'm like, "Hey, great interview with 48 Jimmy Johnson, everything like that." Monday morning, I wake up and it's like, Parker Kligerman liked your comment. Oh, hell yeah. Dude, Parker, man, if you guys, like I said, on Twitter, man, he'll like your comments for sure.
You did message me that on, I think it was Sunday or yesterday, about how we played.
Yeah.
We're past Saturday, the Xfinity race. We're now on Sunday, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series at New Hampshire. Started off a little wet this weekend.
I'm surprised they got it in. I am completely shocked with the forecast. They were calling for rain all day and then rain Monday, Tuesday. So it might have been like Wednesday they would have ran it.
Well, I went out to grab lunch during the rain delay, and on MRN they interviewed, I think it was Ronnie Childers, and he's like, "Hey, race it today, race it Monday, race it Tuesday, I'll race it Wednesday. I don't care."
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I've been to a race.
Is a really fun place for some of these drivers and crews to go to.
Oh yeah,
a lot to do. And I tell you what, hats off to the track workers, getting that track dry, ready to go. And I was listening to it wasn't Steve O'Donnell, but it was another higher up in NASCAR yesterday on I think it was Trade and Paint. I was listening to yesterday on Sirius XM's NASCAR Channel 90, and he said, a lot of people were talking about how this PJ1 was going to wipe off the track with the rain. It wasn't going to be as much grip, but he goes, that stuff, we applied it the night before, it didn't even wipe off. It's like the rain just rolls right off it.
Oh, wow.
So.
If they want to make good race, like we said, they were trying to make good racing, and for it not to come off during the rain, and it poured there for a good 15, maybe 25 minutes, because I kept checking Facebook. People are at the track. Yeah, it's pouring here. Checking Twitter, all the good stuff, all their social media outcasts. And it stayed on for the most part until like the end of stage 2. Then it started coming apart.
Yeah, and like I said, the track workers really did an amazing job this weekend of keeping that track in racing condition.
Yes, they did. And to get all 301 laps in, amazing.
Yep, and let's get into this a little bit. Kevin Harvick gives Kyle Busch the bumper going into turn 3, takes the win here at New Hampshire for his 6th win of the year. And I gotta say, before we talk about what Kyle Busch said after the race, and we talk about how it's a little bit hypocritical what he said, the move that Harvick did, and me looked at this in slow motion, and from the overhead view saw this. He hit the brakes. Slammed the brakes early, getting into turn 3, and because he kind of expected Kyle to pull down in front of him, kind of like one of those front swipe moves, to slide right in front of him. And we heard a Dale Jr. slide job out of that one.
Yes, we did.
Slide job.
And
slide job.
I did play it. I had to play.
I figured you did. That's why you were quiet for a minute there. I'm like, yeah, you're probably playing slide job.
So Harvick hits the brakes. Busch comes down like he expected to, and it just gave Harvick all the reason to go put the bumper to Kyle, get him up out of the groove, and drive off with a win. Nothing dirty about it. I thought it was just a pure racing move for the win. But then after the race, Kyle, in an interview, he's not pissed. I'm surprised he wasn't pissed or upset by it. But the comment...
No, but he did his typical whiny comment.
The comment he made of how you race is how you get raced kind of stuck me a little bit, because I'm not thinking back to the Larson thing at Chicagoland because that was Larson got into him, he got into Larson. That's a wash. I'm not looking at that.
I know what you're looking at. Same thing I'm looking at.
What I look at is, let's go back a little bit. Truck Series.
Last year?
Truck Series. Ron Hornaday. Remember that? Ron Hornaday for the Truck Championship and
Kyle wrecks him at Texas.
Straight up dumps him.
Yep.
Ends all of his championship hopes.
Yep, I remember that.
How you get raced. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. How about that Carl Edwards Bristol incident?
Oh yeah.
All right. So how you get raced is how you race is how you get raced. Like how
about those two at Darlington?
Yeah, Darlington again. Yeah.
How about last year at Pocono when Kyle slammed right into the back end of him? Got Harvick out of, moved him out of the way. Guess what? Harvick remembers that. Drivers ain't no dummies, man.
And going back last year, earlier on the season with the Joey Logano incident, if you remember, it wasn't Joey who started all that. Joey's the one who finished it.
Yeah, exactly.
But Kyle kind of started it a little bit. So you can't come out of the car and make comment of how you race and how you get raced because you're the prime example of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
and
I don't know.
When he said the comment, how you get raced is how you're going to get raced, he's done the same thing to numerous drivers, but yet when he does it, it's okay. He's Brian France's love child of NASCAR.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, yo.
If the fans don't like it, then don't watch.
Okay. Or the... But no, it's just... Like, I talked to my dad after that race, and I asked my dad what he thought of the move, and he's like, my dad's like, I love the move. Senior would have pulled it. Mark Martin would have pulled it. Rusty Wallace would have pulled it. Cale Yarborough, Petty, all them guys. And guess what? They would have gone back to the next week and done the same thing back to the other guy to get the win. And now he wants to complain, whine, bitch, moan like he always does. All the drivers are doing it nowadays. I'm just...
It's a racing move.
Exactly.
A racing move. And
they all said it in the booth. It was a racing move.
Rick Allen in Victory Lane after the race doing the interview with Harvick asked a really good question, and it was the move you put on was kind of like the Intimidator behind the wheel. What do you think about that? And Harvick, said his praises the Intimidator and Dale Earnhardt, and it's exactly what it looked like. He was the guy who took over for him, and that's the guy that it looked like we saw behind the wheel Sunday.
Yes, it was, and I was glad to see it.
If I can't get around you because you're all over the place, I just can't get around you because you're blocking the entire track from me.
Yeah, I'm gonna make room.
I gotta boot you. I gotta put the boot to you. And he didn't dump him. He didn't wreck him. He just bump and run, man.
Exactly.
That's a short track move. And
exactly.
That was another argument this weekend, which I don't understand. Is it a short track? Is it not? If we consider Dover short track, we got to consider New Hampshire a short track.
They consider Dover a short track?
I consider Dover a short track, and I consider New Hampshire a short track.
And Dover, New Hampshire, yes. I call Dover Bristol on steroids.
Well, isn't Bristol a short track?
Yeah, but Bristol, yes.
Isn't New Hampshire and Dover 1 mile tracks?
Yes, they are.
So you got to call it a short track.
Okay.
Well, we could put it in the middle.
We have
in the middle. It's
the
not
intermediate.
A half, and it's not a half mile. It's just right there.
It's its own nature of the beast.
That is what it is. So going on this race, Martin Truex Jr. had, I thought, a pretty great race for himself, and it just on the restarts off pit road, he just couldn't capitalize on any moves. It seemed every time he'd have something good happen, the car would fall off. He was a great short run car, just wasn't the long run car. And in this race this weekend, you needed to have long run speed because short run speed got you nowhere.
No, not at all. And especially short run. What was it? Not even 10, 15 laps into it. We had Landon Castle spin out.
Yep.
And then into the wall. And then on the initial restart, Allmendinger blows a tire, smacks the wall. His day's done.
Yeah, AJ Allmendinger blew a left rear tire. That is a very awkward tire to blow going into a turn because you know you're going around.
Yep.
And you're
and then
hoping you don't hit the
afterwards,
wall too hard, and he was annoying.
exactly. Oh yeah, yeah. He hasn't had any luck since Daytona, but yeah, he's got a track that he loves coming up in a couple weeks. So
that he does. Another guy that I thought really had a shot to win, and it just unfortunate how it all turned out, was Eric Almirola. He had really lost the race on pit road after the Clint Boyer wreck, which I initially, when Almirola was in the lead and Clint Boyer went the wall, I was like, how ironic. Almirola's first win at Stewart-Haas Racing is going to be ruined because one of his teammates got into the wall to bring out the caution, and sure enough, off pit road, he lost about 4 spots, I think it was.
Yep, about that. Yep.
3 spots. He started on the inside of road 2.
Yep. Couldn't get back up there.
Dropped the green flag, spins the tires, completely stalls the inside lanes run.
Well, the thing was, too, is that Stewart-Haas has made some changes to their pit crews, and it seems like it's the same old pit crews. Like how we have a saying in Detroit, same old Lions, same old Stewart-Haas pit crew members, it seems
Didn't
like.
affect Kevin Harvick one bit.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but he dropped, I think, 3rd, while Almirola was 4th or 5th out of on that last pit stop, and then. Yeah. Hey, credit to Harvick on that restart, to keeping up there, because I told Sarah after that final caution, I'm like, whoever gets off pit road first is going to win this race. And I seen Kyle Busch, and I'm like, oh, come on, no, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. Good thing I can't see into the future.
Sure enough, Harvick came through with that one. It took a little bit, but he finally got
it did. Yeah, like I said, I thought overall, as a whole, I thought it was a very entertaining race for New Hampshire.
Yeah, a guy who it wasn't so much entertaining for, well, it was for the first 2 stages, was Kurt Busch, who led 94 laps in this race. And he's another guy who had his race day end on pit road. Ryan Blaney stopped in the pit during green flag pit stops, the stall right behind Kurt Busch. And Kurt's coming in. Sees the jack drop on Ryan Blaney's car, so he kind of puts brakes on so he can let Blaney get out. Blaney never goes. Totally ruins Kurt's day right there because it was just a miscommunication between crew chiefs there, I think, because Blaney's crew chief had come out and said, well, we were going to let him go, let him make his stop, and then we were going to go. And Kurt's crew chief is saying on the radio, I thought he was going to go at the drop of the jack, and I told you to stop. So
yeah, crew chief came on the radio and said, hey, it's my fault.
And with that, as crew chiefs pitting right in front and behind of each other, you kind of got to communicate that a little bit before it happens.
Just a little bit.
But, at any rate, it was a great day for Kurt Busch. It was good to see the 41 back up at the front again. It's just unfortunate for him. You kind of knew that Stewart-Haas Racing was going to win at this race. You just didn't know who it was going to be.
I know there was a lot of people outside that were picking that Toyota's been dominant here in New Hampshire lately, and which they have. But Harvick is the one constant key that was right there.
I did say that last week on the show. Yep, I said it last week. Toyota's dominated this race. The only guy who's been able to stop it was Harvick. And
and he did.
It was Harvick who stopped it.
That it was, and I'm glad that he did. I mean, it was like I said. The racing this weekend was some of the best all year.
Oh, this was one of the better tracks of the year for a race all season long. It was great. The entire race weekend as a whole was great. Eldora, Xfinity, truck, or Eldora with the truck, Xfinity at New Hampshire, Cup New Hampshire. And, the cool thing I thought about this race was it was the first race all season where it seemed like lap traffic made such a huge role. It played such a huge part in how this race was going to finish. And it was all about how you caught them and how you passed them. And for some drivers, it looked like it helped, the lap traffic did, to get away from other guys, put some distance between.
That it did, and it was. I loved it too, though. Like it was just all in all. Yeah, exactly. All in all, everything. All the racing. There's good races going on in the back, and that's what I loved about NBC. Like I think it was Kurt Busch. He was up by like a half a second or something like that. And there was a battle between 4th, 5th, and 6th, and they're like, "You're not missing anything up at the front." Kurt Busch, he's got a comfortable lead. There's nothing going on up there, so this is why we're showing you this battle. I think so far the NBC broadcast has been spot on.
Yeah, A+ this season for them.
Yes, it has been.
So let's talk a good day here, Ryan.
All right.
The Chevy crew, the Chevy camps. Great run this weekend for Chevys.
Yeah, it was.
Hendrick had a great. Finally, looked like they broke out of their slump a little bit with Chase Elliott winning a stage.
Yeah, and then it started Friday with qualifying. I mean, Magnus Johnson didn't make it out of round 2, but Byron, Bowman, and Elliott going for pole.
Yeah, you kind of have a feeling now that maybe they're turning a corner, but I mean, you even had Ryan Newman finish 6th this weekend.
Yeah.
Was it 5th?
Newman runs good. 6th. I got it right here, 6th. Chase was 5th.
Okay, so Newman finishes 6th, but I mean, regardless, man, it was a solid day for the Chevy camp. I mean, this is a race where you can build off of now and start gaining momentum,
yes, it is.
especially at the times where you need to have that momentum heading into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And there was one guy that kind of surprised me. I mean, not too much. He really doesn't run good there, but Kyle Larson, nowhere to be seen the first 2 stages. Final stage starts getting up there a little bit, but ended up 12th.
Yeah, a solid run for all the Chevys, I thought, this weekend.
Yep. Matt Kenseth got a 15th, which good run for them.
Now let's talk about a bad day. Let's talk about Brad Keselowski's bad day.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Middle of the race, Brad loses his brakes, and if you paid attention a little bit during the race to the wheels of the cars, you'd see the glow they had entering and exiting corners, and Brad lost his brakes middle of the race, and had to let off early into corners, and
he was saying as he was going into, I think it was turn 3, the brake went all the way to the floor, and at a track like New Hampshire where you're on the brakes a lot, that's not a good sign. You don't want to be going 155, 157, I think they were doing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing that at all. No, not at all.
So Brad finishes 32nd. Denny Hamlin also not happy with his car this weekend. It was shocking because they played the interview he had last year. I wish we could race here 15 times a year.
Oops.
New Hampshire. And I really expect him to have a great run. I called him to win it.
Yes, he did.
And he comes on the radio and goes, "Well, this is the worst car we've ever brought here." That day's done.
Yes, it is.
Ryan, how about Rick Allen, the pit reporter? I thought it was great. I thought he did a great job.
I enjoyed it. I thought he did, during the rain delay, and this is awesome. He's interviewing Kurt Busch, and Kurt Busch is like, yeah, he got his rookie stripes, and Kurt Busch is like, yeah, you're new to, hey, shouldn't you be up in the booth and all that? And they're like, no, they got the 2 drivers and the crew chief up there, and they're just like, oh, get you your rookie stripe. They didn't have any yellow tape and all that, so it was pretty funny. So.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Go ahead.
I enjoyed it. I thought Letarte, Burton, and Junior were great in the booth. And how about the throwback shirts they had on?
Which caused a little bit of a stir between a couple people that I noticed on Twitter.
All right.
And Jeff Gluck didn't seem like he was a fan of it, but it seemed like consensus thought it was a great deal. I'm one of those guys who I don't care what they wear.
Yeah, exactly.
They call it a race. What's the problem with it? Why is it
it's like exactly. It's like watching a football game. I don't care what the hell the announcers are wearing. Call a good football game. Call a good baseball game. Basketball. A wrestling event. Like you said, a race. I thought Junior's throwback to Dick Trickle was awesome. Obviously the Richard Petty shirt and the Bill Elliott, which I thought were all great picks by the guys.
Yeah, it added a little bit of it's laid back. It's got that complete feel to it, and
Exactly. It's like when they do the Fox does the drivers only. Why not? If the drivers want to go up there in their driver suits, let them.
They're going to come out in the pit crew uniform. You're going to have Jeff Hart come out in the X-Side or Sit-Go fire suit. You're going to have Junior come out in the Budweiser fire suit.
Yeah.
So, your stage winners, Ryan. First stage, Martin Truex Jr. Second stage, Chase Elliott. His first stage win of the season.
Yes, it was.
And third, final stage, if you want to call it that, final run to the finish, your race winner, Kevin Harvick, for a 6th time this year.
I love it. All 3 different winners, the stages, and obviously the winner.
Your top 5, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, Martin Truex Jr., and Chase Elliott. Out of your notable finishers, 6th place, Ryan Newman, 14th place, William Byron, and 30th place, Ricky Stenhouse, a guy who's fighting for a points day. Had no luck since Daytona. None at all.
Yeah, he hasn't had any. Yeah, it is karma.
Your standings following New Hampshire: Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Clint Boyer, Joey Logano, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman. The only driver, it appears, at this moment in time, bearing any of the guys outside of the top 16 winning. The only guy who's really in trouble there, I think, is Bowman, who's 25 points above the cut line, chasing 95. Yep. And I think same thing with Johnson. He's also 95 points above the cut line.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think, I think it's coming down to the 16 right now, the final spot. Unless you said if any one of those guys, minus 16, get a win. I mean, Allmendinger's capable to win at, obviously at Watkins Glen.
You can kind of have like a Chris Buescher situation too, especially this weekend at Pocono.
You could, yeah.
So
I guess they're calling for Foggy this weekend.
Chris is happy. So, I mean, as we mentioned...
Yeah, he will be happy if it fogs again.
Yeah, your next race we've been talking about here is Pocono, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Hopefully no rain. I haven't seen the forecast yet for the weekend.
I haven't bothered to look. I look like Wednesday or Thursday. Unless I'm going to the race and I'm looking 2 weeks ahead.
I'm looking a month in advance, man.
Exactly.
All right, I think that does it for Gas and Go. We got a couple of news articles to hit on this week, Ryan, so let's keep the show rolling. Let's get into some tire run.
Let's go.
Left side. Pull this left rear fender out, left side.
Here's a name you might not have heard, but you might have heard. Mike Beam, he's a crew chief over at GMS Racing. He's put in a bid for BK Racing. If you remember, BK Racing has declared bankruptcy, so they're looking for a buyer right now. So far, it seems Mike Beam from GMS is the front runner.
I wouldn't mind seeing Mike Beam own a team. I mean, great crew chief back in the day, still as a crew chief. I mean, why not?
I agree with you, man. That's a guy who can bring kind of like the GMS feel over to BK Racing, and
exactly
another spot for some drivers to get in at, from GMS.
Yes, it would. Yeah, I mean, I would, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing him get a hold of a team. So, did they say how much he put in for the bid or anything?
Nothing like
that. All right.
No. But that from a slow news week, it really was a slow news week. 36 Cup and Xfinity drivers will take part in Dale Jr. Skeleton Glove Program at Watkins Glen for Nationwide Children's Hospital. So we're going to have 36 drivers that race weekend wearing the skeleton gloves that Junior used to wear in the car. And
very sweet.
They're going to be auctioning them off after the race on the Dale Jr. Foundation eBay page, I think.
Oh, very cool.
And my last news article I have is 5 Hour Energy is ending their NASCAR sponsorship.
I saw that the other day, and I found it quite shocking, actually.
I heard a rumor this weekend. This is complete rumor. I didn't even see it on an official site of anything. But a rumor was Red Bull coming into the sport for Jimmy Johnson next year.
Really?
Which would kind of surprise me a little bit.
I've been drinking those a lot at work because I'm not a coffee drinker. I drink Red Bulls in the morning, so That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different look for that 48 card. It's going to be odd seeing
Yeah.
anything but lows on it.
Yeah, it will be seeing anything weird but lows on it. But to see Red Bull on the 48 car next year, that'd be pretty cool.
It would be.
Sarah's giving me the eyes up right now, like the people's eyebrow right now. She is a Jimmy fan.
So that does it on my news end of the week.
Real quick, AJ, this is still in the news. My buddy Drew, who works for Safelite Auto Glass Repair.
Safelite Replace.
Yeah, that's right. But they're doing something because Consumer Energy is sponsoring the race out at MIS, and it's for MS. They're trying to orange out MIS, which would be weird. I mean, it's for a great cure for.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It is cool. It's for MS. I think MS, right, honey? Sarah just gave me the thumbs up. It is for MS. They want to orange out Michigan International Speedway, and I know Chase Elliott has an orange shirt, so I'd get that and wear it there. So.
Yeah. Hey, get that Hooters shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a cool cause too. So I mean, I hope to see some orange shirts in the crowd that day. It'd be very nice to see.
Yeah, be cool. Be very cool to see.
Great cause. So, and I know part of the ticket. You buy the ticket through this website. Goes part of the ticket sales goes towards the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the charity. Yep, goes to the charity. So
that's good. That's good. Good to get that information out there for the listeners. Anyone that goes up to MIS there for the next race, that'd be cool to see.
3 weeks.
Ryan, it's some social media time. Let me get to work here on that. All right, so we are up to 639 downloads on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher. We're at 229 followers on Twitter, 58 likes on Facebook, 19 subscribers on YouTube. A couple shout-outs this week from Twitter. We have Daniel at CarolinaDan94 and Ace Race Mom 18 at Very Lucky Mama. We have some podcast shout-outs this week. They are our usuals: the Lap Traffic Podcast, the PTM Racing Podcast, the My Opinion Therefore Fact Podcast, the All Turns No Break Podcast, the Bump and Run Podcast, and Creditcast, 3 Wide Podcast, NASCAR Opinion, Final Lap Weekly, and the Slide Draft Podcast. Some places you can find us: iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube. In the search bar, the Loose Lugs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on there. Turn on your notification bells so this way you get notified every time we put up some new content. On Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast. Tweet with us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod. On Facebook, we are the Loose Lugs Podcast. Shoot us a like over on there. Our personals, myself, Grey Goose F-150, and Ryan.
R. Rencola 88.
All right, now that mouthful's out of the way, Ryan, I know you were telling me that you got a pretty good rant this week, so let's hear your rant.
Okay. Like I said, guys, everybody hope they had an awesome weekend. I had an awesome weekend, too. So, after the race, Sarah and I are sitting down, watching the interviews, and we start hearing Kyle Busch whine and complain. This is not directed at Kyle Busch. This is directed at all the drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series. Stop complaining when a guy hits you. It is part of racing. Harry Hogg said it. Rubbin's racing, son. And that's what happened on Sunday with the whole Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch incident. I'm sick and tired of these drivers becoming pre-Madonnas, is what they are. Grow a pair, because guys like Dale Sr. right now are rolling over. Dale Sr. is rolling over in his grave. Mark Martin, Davey Allison is rolling over in his grave. Cal Yarborough, all these guys are like, this is the next generation. This is what we have to deal with these guys whining, complaining. Oh, they raced me too hard. Oh, he hit me too hard. Enough with it. Grow a pair, get out there, race. If you have to put the bumper to somebody to move them out of the way, then do it. I remember the saying a few years ago, drivers have at it. Whatever happened to that? That was great because Gordon, Keselowski, then the Harvick and Keselowski and everybody else. I don't understand what is going on with it, with these drivers being prima donnas.
Solid. That was
Thank you. And by the way, I do have another one. I started watching the ESPYs on Wednesday. Guess who our host was?
Was it William Byron?
No, it was not William Byron. Although he would have done a hell of a job. Danica Patrick.
I just want you to know I always say William Byron just get with you. So.
Oh, I know. I know you do. But here's my thing. Peyton Manning, as most of you know or don't know, I never was a big Peyton Manning fan. Great quarterback. He was great at what he did, but I couldn't stand the guy. Everything like that. He hosted the ESPYs last year. Awesome job hosting it. His jokes were funny. He even did a thing about Tom Brady and retirement, which was absolutely great. I know you remember what I'm talking about, AJ being a Patriots fan. But Danica Patrick comes out there, and she's trying to do these jokes left and right. And Tony and I are in this sports group. And I'm like, man, she's already slammed into the wall, and she's already 45 laps down. It was that bad.
I actually listened to the opening monologue of hers, and I didn't think it was terrible.
That's what I'm talking about right there. The opening monologue, I thought it was.
I thought she threw out some pretty good jokes to some people in the audience.
Well, it's like the LeBron one at the end, and people are just like, huh? Like they might either. I don't think they got it, or it was like she misread it or something. But and the best part, she's coming out and they show Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is like, yay!
I think
There's another guy. There's another guy I hate right there is Aaron Rodgers.
Why? Were you at the Hail Mary game, or the not the Hail Mary, the Hail Mary game?
No, that was Tony and Sean. I watched it on TV, and I threw my remote as soon. Yeah, I threw my remote because who was their head coach? Jim Caldwell, who's not here, by the way.
Just, I was hoping you to do your little line you normally do on Xbox right there. Please don't do it.
No, I won't do my head. No Xbox talk on the podcast. Keeping this PG-13 friendly today.
Oh man, Ryan does not like Jim Caldwell. That's all I have to say.
No, Jim Caldwell there was something about him that
too conservative. He was too conservative of a head coach. He didn't like it seemed like he didn't like to go for the win. It was more of we're all right. We're all right where we are. We're down by 20, we're okay.
He never had that killer instinct because the Hail Mary game, they were up 21-0. What does Bill Belichick do in a 21-0 game, AJ? Please explain to the viewer.
Put on the gas.
Thank you.
Game ain't over.
Instead, you know what Jim Caldwell does? He puts 3 lug nuts on the car, and the damn lug nuts fall off the car to have loose lugs.
And then you make our logo.
Yeah. Then we have our logo. That is how Jim Caldwell coached that football team. Hopefully, Matt Patricia comes in with the Belichick attitude, puts the gas to the floor, and let's go.
Hey, Patricia's been ready for football. Of it, down 21 points.
That he has, and came back and won.
Well, all right, Ryan, let's get into some white flag. We got to do some predictions.
That was my rant. I had 2 of them. I had to throw the Danica one in there. I just thought it was that bad.
Well, we're gonna get into some white flag here. We got some predictions coming up here for Iowa and Pocono.
Ooh, Iowa and Pocono. Let's do it.
Only 2.
All right, so we got the Truck Series this weekend at Pocono. Always a pretty decent race to watch for the Truck Series. They like to get it a little bit 3 wide sometimes going on the straightaways. It's fun to watch.
Yes, it is 4 wide.
So my pick, Ryan.
Go ahead.
I'm taking the 41 at Ben Rhodes.
All right.
He finished second at this race last year, and the only driver who finished in front of him was Christopher Bell. And being that Christopher Bell is no longer in that series, I am going to take Ben Rhodes.
All right, I'm going with the guy who finished second at the dirt on Wednesday. Grant Enfinger gets the job done at Pocono. I think they're hitting their strides right now. They're going to start winning some races here, and put me down for the 98 of Grant Enfinger.
Very good pick. We got the Xfinity Series. Always a fun race at Iowa. This is where
Great
William
track.
Byron got his first win last year. Ryan, who are you picking for Iowa?
Iowa. Let's go with. Let's go with Colchester.
Taking the 00 Colchester.
Yeah.
I'm basing mine off of a man who got his first win last year, as I said, William Byron. That 9 team is still together, even though it's a different driver. I'm taking Tyler Reddick this weekend.
All right, nice. Good pick.
We have the Cup Series at Pocono. Mark Truex won the first race earlier this spring. Right?
I couldn't remember who. Yeah, June. I couldn't remember who, wouldn't it?
So Martin Truex won this race a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Just give you a little heads up. Ryan, who are you going with?
Give me the number 12 of Ryan Blaney, and my sleeper pick, give me the 10 of Eric Almirola.
Going with 2 Fords.
Yep, Blaney got his first win there last year. He runs good there. He ran good, if I remember correctly, good the first race there. So he's due to break out.
I'm basing mine off of last season a little bit.
Okay.
For my winner, I'm going to take Chase Elliott in the 9 car to get his first win. I'm doing this also because he's got a lot of momentum heading into this week. Hasn't really had a race where he could have a lot of momentum heading into. You know, coming off of a stage win, which you look at it as not really a big deal, but to a team that's been struggling like Hendrick has,
Oh, yeah.
that was kind of a big deal. So I'm going to take Chase as my winner. He finished 8th and 3rd in last season there. My sleeper finished 3rd and 7th last season there. Eric Jones is who I'm going with for my sleeper.
The mulletless wonder, Eric Jones.
That's right. I think it's going to be a really good race weekend again we've got coming up here.
Oh, yeah. I love watching Pocono. I'm so happy, though, they changed it from a 500-miler to a 400-miler. That race was just so long there.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But there's a couple of guys that can win. Logano runs good there. Kozlowski runs good there. See if Chevy can get the momentum going from last week. So
I agree with you, man.
At New Hampshire. Because we were watching qualifying Friday, and I saw the Hendrick guys up there, and I'm like, they may have finally found something. So we'll wait and see what happens. So
yes, we
should
will,
be a good should be a good weekend in Pocono.
Well,
and Iowa for that matter.
it should be a good weekend. I'm looking forward to it. These are a couple of the fun tracks on the schedule. You know, I see Pocono losing a date here eventually, but regardless, enjoy it while it's still here.
Well, here's the thing: if Pocono loses a date, what takes its place?
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
All right.
I really don't.
So AJ, you remember how last week we were talking? And I know we're running a little long here this week, but remember how last weekend we were talking about the playoffs and how we should change the tracks up? Well, it was the Benedetto, Jarrett, and Marty Snyder, and they're talking about what changes they want to see in the Cup Series, everything like that, and the Benedetto said, I forgot what he said, but Marty Snyder said it that I want them to change the format to the playoffs, like change tracks, switch it up every year. It's the same thing we were talking about last week on last week's show. And it was ironic, too, that Marty Snyder said that after we were just talking about it on the podcast last weekend.
Maybe he listens to the show, man.
He might. I don't know. I really don't know, but I tweeted him. I'm like, man, my buddy and I were just talking about it on our podcast that we would love to see it. Like, make Daytona be the last race one year. Make it be Daytona 500, and then you switch it up. You can use all the tracks though, because the playoffs start September. Like I said, if you're the northern race tracks, you're the first 3. Then go from there. It'll work out. It could work out so good.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to change them up, but I don't ever want to have Daytona as the last race of the season.
Oh, I would love it.
It's too much of a crapshoot in a sense of you don't want someone to win the championship because they were just the last one to crash. basically
Yes, they
where
were.
I'm at with that. So, you know, I mean, I'd like to see the tracks change during the playoffs, but not to that extent.
I think it'd be great. I think it would be one of the best decisions I think they've ever made.
We'll see how that.
How'd you like to?
Go ahead.
How would you like to see Bristol be in the last race of the year?
See, that'd be something I could get behind.
Martinsville, the last race of the year. I mean, anything the last race of the year, that'd be great.
I agree with you there. How about Indy?
No.
Ryan, we've hit the point of the show where we have.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Why don't you hit everybody with it, Ryan?
Guys, I hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy Pocono and Iowa this weekend. We will see you guys at the track.
Thanks a lot to Patrick Josh for joining us here in the chat. Everyone who's tuned in to us live here on YouTube, everyone listening right now, we thank you very much. We appreciate you listening to us and supporting us. Have a good weekend with Iowa coming up. Eat Pocono. Hope you have a good race weekend. Enjoy it.
There's nothing to fear along the way. There's nothing I can say.
Trying to take the lead away.
I say